So last time on Dragon Ball Super VE, both Bardock and King Vegeta continued their respective training with Whis and Vegeta, but only under the tutelage of the Prince did King Vegeta get pushed to his ultimate limit, resulting in the King of Saiyans transforming for the first time in the Dragon Ball Super universe into a Super Saiyan 4. And in today's manga, we will finally see how far this power goes against the god forms of our heroes. But before we begin, support this video and channel by leaving a like right now as you're reading this and watching till the very end for its jaw-dropping final scene. Enjoy. So our story begins with the newly ascended King Vegeta standing before his shock son in his Super Saiyan 4 form. There's a deathly silence as the two take in what has just happened, before Vegeta, still in his evolution blue form, breaks the tension and questions, Super Saiyan 4? So, this is what things would have looked like if Beerus never came and showed us the power of the gods. I can't say I'm not impressed. This power I can sense is absurd. You may actually have a shot at Frieza like this, father. But still, I can't quite understand how you're doing this so easily. It doesn't make sense to me that you've arrived and just suddenly shown far more talent than both me and Kakarot immediately. It's the Broly situation all over again. Just how have you done this? Kakarot has been a Super Saiyan 3 for years, and not once did it even come to him that it was possible another form existed beyond that. Once we became gods, the jump in power was so insanely vast there was no way our Saiyan forms could possibly keep up. But if what I'm sensing is correct, you've come pretty damn close. Meanwhile, King Vegeta, after hearing his son's bittersweet reaction, just smiles and replies, So, I was right! This isn't something either you or Kakarot could do. My own form, a form fit for a king! Ha ha ha! Perfect. Truth be told, blonde hair was one thing, but forcing myself to go red and then even blue was a push too far. I was hoping I could go further beyond as a Super Saiyan, and when I first became a Super Saiyan 3, I kind of already had an idea that there was still more power left to uncover. The king then points directly at Vegeta while still damaged and continues, But you seem to be impressed by my power as I am now, comparing myself to your god power how I stand currently. But you fail to remember, this is me after you just gave me the beating of a lifetime, my son. Now give me that strange green bean you were muttering about earlier right before I transformed. You said yourself, I'd feel better and stronger than ever before after taking one, didn't you? So hand it over! However, Vegeta is immediately alarmed, responding, Huh? You heard all of that? But how? You were completely unconscious. One hit more and you'd have re-entered the other world. That beating would have left even Beerus in a daze, let alone you. I thought you lost control when you suddenly got up. You turned into a damn Uzaru, a golden one at that. Don't tell me you knew what you were doing the entire time. King Vegeta, however, just continues smiling with his arms folded and replies cockily, My dear son, by living on this forsaken weak planet, you've forgotten all that made you truly a Saiyan. You see, Vegeta, as much as you can beat my body down, when a Saiyan is at their absolute weakest and lowest, that is when they can finally surpass their own limits and go even further beyond. You've witnessed that yourself from the stories you've told me of Kakarot and his son, at least in their early Super Saiyan transformations. Yet for me, you've been shocked at every moment I've transformed, watching how in a fraction of the time I managed to delve deep and surpass those limits, wondering consistently why and how. But what you fail to realize is the one difference between me and both you and Kakarot. My goddamn tail! Don't think I didn't notice how you two brats had discarded your most valuable body part and linked your true identity. I can only imagine it was just so you could fit in with the rest of the Earthlings here. Pathetic. Vegeta, however, struggles to follow, and with his arms folded continues, Your tail? What on earth are you talking about, old man? What difference would your tail make? Every single Saiyan is born with one of those. I lived for years with mine since birth, and it was nothing more than a hindrance after a while. For many, if grabbed, they'd even completely stop their movements. The ability to transform into an Ozaru is all it was good for. But what use is the power increase of an Ozaru transformation to a Saiyan who can become a Super Saiyan or more? This is nonsense, father. King Vegeta replies, however, disappointed in his son's disbelief, saying, Nonsense? It seems you know little about the true power of a Saiyan, son, or even the reason why exactly we were born with such tails, unlike other humanoid species. But I guess it's not surprising, since you were only a boy when we first became separated. I never did get to show you the ancient Saiyan scripts or reveal the truth about our race and our history. Shock then overwhelms the prince as he hears the unexpected words of King Vegeta, and he immediately then queries further, Ancient Saiyan scripts? The truth about our race? What gibberish are you saying, you senile old fool? Wait a second. In all our time together, you never once mentioned anything like this. I knew all kinds of legends, including the one of the legendary Super Saiyan. So how am I hearing about these supposed ancient writings only now? King Vegeta, now transitioning to a serious face, responds, Because, son, because of that monster Frieza. You never came of the required age to be shown the texts. You have to understand, in the Saiyan culture, only Saiyans of a specific pedigree are taken to learn our true history and origins. Only those Saiyans who have displayed high enough battle power or bravery and have reached the age of 20 are ever then taken to the underground vaults of planet Vegeta. And of course, just with your battle power as a child, you were always destined to do the same. But the key problem was that you were still a child, and I died battling Frieza before I could ever take you there. And now, it's all gone forever. It's from those very texts you even learned about the Super Saiyan, son. Did you never wonder how those stories of the Super Saiyan from millennia ago were passed down to be known now? It was all from the books found in the vault. Ancient scripts that dictated who we really are, and just what potential we truly have. As stunned Vegeta remained silent for a moment before muttering, I see. So I'm guessing Raditz and Nappa never made the cut either. I guess they were assigned to guard me 24/7 anyway. So now I'm intrigued. Just what exactly was included in those texts? What is the truth about our Saiyan race that you keep hinting about? And wouldn't those texts have told you too, not only of the Super Saiyan, but also the Super Saiyan God and the ceremony involved? King Vegeta in response replies, however, That could very well be the case, son. These texts were numerous. An entire roll library was commissioned solely for harboring these books, which documented the Saiyans of the past and the knowledge they had gained about our numerous abilities. In truth, even I had not read everything in there, but instead knew only of the greatest feats of our race. I knew of the Super Saiyan, and I also knew of the genius Saiyan who understood most about our species. A Saiyan who was said to have ascended to a form known only in the text as Red. I can only assume that form is what you now call the Super Saiyan God. He uncovered what was known to be the true source of all our power, a spot in our bodies that contained a concentrated amount of genetic material that was key to our inherent abilities of growing stronger and stronger after each battle, key to our zenkai boosts, and key to our ability to reach new heights in the most unlikely of situations. And that key was our tails. Inside there, our very essence as a Saiyan was kept, the secret to our constantly improving abilities. King Vegeta then continues, I gathered from both you and Kakarot's reaction to my power when I first arrived here that even with my explanation of just how many thousand Zenkai boosts I received while in hell, you two just couldn't quite believe how I'd matched and even surpassed your base form power, despite all these battles you faced in the living world against Frieza, that Cell fellow you mentioned, and even the strongest warriors of other universes. All the while, you did all of that, not realizing you had completed all of those battles without the one thing that would have enhanced your Saiyan progress even further. And when I noticed that both you and Kakarot had lost your tails, it all became clear to me. Though you had done well getting this far in strength, it was seemingly always through natural methods. Intense training in rooms such as this, battling stronger and stronger enemies. You just no longer had your bloodline's inherent ability to multiply your power each time you recovered. And I can only imagine just how monstrous you and Kakarot would have been if you kept your tails. In the text, they spoke of Saiyans who chose not to conform with society. They forcefully pulled out and cut off their own tails in order to revolt against the rest. But unfortunately, their rash decisions soon became their downfall, as over time, it was soon noted that these Saiyans began to grow at a much slower rate than the rest, and they increasingly became weaker in comparison to the rest of the tailed Saiyans. And it didn't take long before the pieces of the puzzle came together, and it became apparent that this was due to their Zenkai boosts seemingly being less and less significant right after losing their tail. After some time, after each battle, they would only marginally become stronger, while the rest of the tailed Saiyans grew exponentially each time. And it makes me wonder now, I don't know how exactly you and Kakarot have been tailless, but Vegeta, have you noticed this same phenomenon in your era? Vegeta, now in complete shock, begins to realize how things begin to make sense as he thinks back to various points where his Zenkai boost was put into question, saying, Wait, surely this cannot be. Some time ago, I fought a warrior from the future, a clone of Kakarot, who stabbed me right through the chest. On healing up and fighting him again, my own son was the one to notice that my Zenkai had little effect. And indeed, my power was nowhere near as substantially different as expected. Definitely nothing like how it was when I was on Namek, and could actually rely on it to fend off Frieza, even if momentarily. It's exactly as you say. Since that day, I lost my tail, I've had to push myself endlessly to get stronger. Gravity rooms, time chambers, the list goes on. King Vegeta, with his arms folded, then responds, Yes, I could tell that was the case. It's a shame, but I do believe with those Dragon Balls of yours, you may just be able to regain your true Saiyan power and regrow a tail. If they can bring a corpse like me back, I'm sure they can do that too. But enough talking. Give me one of those Senzu beans you spoke of, and I'll show you firsthand what a true Saiyan Zenkai is supposed to look like. Vegeta reluctantly then replies, Here. and then proceeds to throw a senzu bean at King Vegeta, who catches it instantly and begins eating the mysterious bean. Suddenly, all of King Vegeta's muscles begin to bulge one by one before a huge aura surrounds him as he yells out, The force and shockwaves of the power-up then leave Vegeta covering himself, as even he is shocked at what he is now sensing, noting, "What the hell? He wasn't kidding! I can sense his power level growing! He's already far stronger than he was just seconds ago! Don't tell me! Did I really miss out on all this for all these years?" And on completion of his power-up, King Vegeta then finally stands fully healed, covered in electricity and a familiar yellow aura, with his arms folded and a smirk as he then says, "So, I think it's about time we tried out this new form. The power of a Saiyan transformation versus your God-infused power. Let's see what's better, once and for all. Sound good, my son? Or do you wish to bow out now and run with your tail between your legs? Oh wait, I guess you couldn't do that even if you wanted to, huh?" Vegeta following this then immediately gets into a fighting stance, and with a smirk replies, "You're a regular comedian. I see you haven't lost a shred of overconfidence after that beating I gave you. Zenkai boost or not, you're out of your league, old man. There is a difference between a mortal and a god, but you can find that out yourself." But as soon as Vegeta's sentence is finished, King Vegeta immediately rushes in at full speed, shocking the prince, who hardly expected it. Instantaneously then, without warning, King Vegeta slams his fist across the unprepared Vegeta's face, immediately starting his revenge for what happened earlier. As Vegeta flies across the time chamber, he thinks to himself, "He's gotten faster." Before suddenly falling from the air like a torpedo, King Vegeta falls at top speed, feet first, ultimately slamming Vegeta right in his stomach as hard as he can, sending the poor prince hurtling to a crash landing on the surface of the time chamber. Within milliseconds, however, King Vegeta appears on top of his son, who still remains disorientated and shocked as the king yells, "And now, it's time I beat some sense into you until you feel what I felt. Just try and beg me to stop, Vegeta!" Yeah! Suddenly then landing his first punch, before going for his second. Yeah! 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 Landing multiple punches before going for one more. But unfortunately, this time it's instantly grabbed with ease by Vegeta before any more damage can be done. Vegeta, still holding his father's arm and now the cocky smirk, remarks, "All that transformation and talk, and this is supposed to be your big revenge? You bring no end to my amusement, father." Huh? Meanwhile, staring back at his son wide-eyed, King Vegeta is shocked at the sudden turn of events, responding, "What is going on? You're smiling, even in this scenario? You've been completely and utterly outmatched by me. You think this is a game after how badly you beat me? Your punishment has not even begun yet." But Vegeta, now with an even more menacing smile, just replies, "Outmatched me? Are you sure about that, father? I didn't think you'd become senile this early on in your old age. Allow me to remind you of the difference between a mortal and a god!" Instantly powering up as he yells this, causing a huge ball of energy to envelop Vegeta and push the shocked King Vegeta away with it. Eventually, King Vegeta regains himself in the air, but as he looks down, Vegeta's energy causes more and more debris and smoke to cover him.
King Vegeta, while witnessing this, thinks back on just how easily Vegeta brushed him aside, saying,
"There's no way this is happening again! Was he holding back when he was beating me down before? I've reached an all-new level of power! Why is our gap in strength still the same?"
While the king ponders his own weakness, from the cloud of smoke, something suddenly shoots out. And instantly, point blank, we see Vegeta in his evolution blue form, right in the face of a completely astounded King Vegeta, as he powers up what appears to be a Gallic gun, saying,
"Hello, father! Allow me to explain something to you. Whatever this form is impressive. This would have been useful maybe if we were still at the level of a Super Saiyan Blue. But right now, in these limit breaker forms, myself and Kakarot you have no chance to even rival us at half our power. I told you, your goal is and always will be the God forms. I enjoyed your history lesson on our Saiyan heritage, but I assure you, no tail is going to be what allows you to surpass me, and I'll show you that the hard way."
King Vegeta, realizing what his son plans, just looks back, aghast, and yells,
Wait, Vegeta! No! Ha!
And just like that, Vegeta then fires his Gallic gun without any care for his father, point blank at King Vegeta. Within the span of seconds, King Vegeta is forcefully pushed miles away as the blast continues to rage on, with him being able to do nothing to stop it but survive until it disintegrates him. As King Vegeta gets pushed, he thinks introspectively,
"This cannot be happening! After every transformation I go through, every limit I break, I still can't touch him. This energy blast I can't even escape from is a damn testament to that. He's been playing with me from the start. These god forms have made these brats so complacent. Of course, they no longer even feel the need to transform any further as true Saiyans. And I can't stand anymore to be beaten like this so easily over and over."
Now angered by his own weakness, King Vegeta's face shifts to one of struggle as he stretches out both his arms in an attempt to now take control, muttering as he does,
"If God power is what I need to finally match you, Vegeta, then so be it. I'll show you what it is for a true-tailed Saiyan to take control of the power of the gods!"
As King Vegeta then suddenly begins giving it his all to try and fight back against Vegeta's Gallic gun. Midway through, however, King Vegeta thinks back to what his son had told him.
So, to become a god, one must extract the god key already inside of him. My injuries may have healed, but I can still feel exactly where Vegeta hit me. Now all I need to do is extract it. Let's see.
And as Vegeta continues pushing his Gallic gun, he notices something strange happening with his father's hands.
Huh? What is he?
And instantly, King Vegeta brings out of his hands a massive ball of God Ki, the combined power that Vegeta had beaten into him earlier, far larger than anything Beerus had imparted into Vegeta. Slowly but surely, the ball continues to increase in size as Vegeta realizes his own Gallic gun, made of the same God Ki, is being absorbed directly into it.
Huh? Don't tell me he's trying to become a god now of all times! He's insane! That's way too much to handle! I have to stop things now, or this will only get worse!
As Vegeta stops, the king is then left with a gigantic ball of Vegeta's combined God Ki in his arms, struggling to even maintain its shape.
This doesn't look like what he described! This better work!
And the tired out of breath king then continues.
That was a lot harder than I thought it'd be, but at least I've survived his Gallic gun. Now all I have to do is try and take control of this key, and I too will be a god.
King Vegeta, now relaxed at his naive thoughts over finally equaling his son, then smiles and says,
I figured, son. If I'm supposedly able to extract and conform this god energy of yours that you beat into me, I should also be able to use it to interact with your own attacks. After all, it is all your energy. Now that I've combined the two, this surplus of god ki should take me to levels even beyond your evolution blue. You described a small ball of concentrated god ki when you transformed. So, I guess this will be enough, right?
The completely astonished and fearful Vegeta panics, however, and yells back,
No! Father, stop! That's not how it works! That is far too much god ki! It's life-threatening enough to attempt this with just a small amount as a mortal. With this amount, your body will be completely destroyed! You are out of your depth. Listen to my words and stop now!
King Vegeta, however, just smiles back and replies,
I told you to stop doubting the power of a tailed Saiyan, didn't I? You never learn.
And instantly then grabs the big ball of god energy, detonating it in hopes of assimilating the god ki with his own body. Leaving his son to just stand below helplessly, only able to watch as his father makes the biggest mistake of his life. He screams one last time, No! No, father! As King Vegeta just looks back in silence, still smiling at his son. As expected, an explosion of indescribable magnitude is seen, one which no mortal could ever hope to survive. And the completely frustrated prince, who has now moved away far enough, just stares blankly into it, unable to say anything just yet. A giant mushroom cloud is seen in the aftermath of the explosion, as neither Vegeta nor his father can be heard still. Eventually the clouds begin to slowly dissipate, but unfortunately, nothing is left behind. Vegeta, after some time of staring, eventually realizes there is no trace of his father or his ki left. In anger and disappointment, he reflects,
Father, you idiot! You went too far. For the first time, I can't sense you anymore. You really died trying to surpass me. You let your damn pride cloud your decisions, and now you're gone. Again.
Vegeta, in both sadness and anger, then slams his fist on the ground, yelling out,
Damn it! I shouldn't have mocked him so hard for his power level. This is all my fault. If I didn't rush him to get stronger, he would still be here. We've only been in here half a year. There was still time to progress. But after using the Dragon Balls already, now it's going to take a whole year to see him again! Damn it all!
However, in the distance, a pair of feet land, and a shadowy figure passes through the dust clouds, saying as he walks towards Vegeta,
A whole year, you say? I definitely haven't got time for that.
And with glowing orange hair, green pupilled eyes, a slimmer frame, and a divine aura, King Vegeta stands alive, blemishless, in the very first Super Saiyan 4 God form, as he demands finally,
Now tell me again, what exactly was supposed to destroy me, son?
But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far in the video, leave me a hashtag King Vegeta in the comments down below, and let me know if you want part 12 of this manga next, or a sequel to one of my other mangas instead. As you know, all of these stories are written, illustrated, and narrated painstakingly by myself, and if you want to support my work, you can do so for just $3 a month on my Patreon, where for less than a cup of coffee, you not only ensure those stories continue, but also get rewarded over 250 plus mangas to read yourself instantly and add to your collection. Links will be in the pinned comment and description, but if you want to see more of my signature style of content, just click on one of these two videos on the right now. Until next video, guys, cheers.